Yeah, this is for those who cheated, got relaxed, and then they jumped the gun because they thought this life was going to be fun. When I came to the planet, and about, I would say, in the 70s, just making random 70s, and those who were already proceeded. When they talk about family, the word family is now familiar spirits or familiar souls from the host. The host is the what we call the one that grows the body and gives birth, which they call it mother. The word mother is M for me, OT for out, HER is out of here or her. So they say mother. They say mammy or mother or mommy, my me, my me, connected because you are your mother. They bring a division to this connection by the word gender. When they say you're a boy, you're a girl, that automatically stops the connection that you have with your host, which they call mother. Okay, mother's the English word. Mother is the word I explained the best way I could to those who are trying to find out from a scientific point of view what is going on. So your mother's your host, and basically with the conception of two families, and these particular families represent that they was in famine, and is FAM for famine, for me, famine, and ID, or famine, lying in famine, which means they had nothing, they didn't know who was what, they didn't have no family ties, genealogy, they didn't have no study of who they needed, who they came from, where they come from. They had no knowledge of this. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. This is why they talk about slavery. They're talking about slavery and the fact that when they talk about slavery here, now we're talking about a brutal type of slavery that was calculated so no one would truly understand what was going on. So they separated people. They killed the fathers. They sold the fathers. They did all manners of evil that you can say. And honestly, I really don't want to keep repeating these things over and over because it regurgitates. It makes you live this thing over and over. Every time you hear it, you want to hear more because in your DNA has a lot of junk in it. Because when they rape your mother, or if she was willing to open her legs, your grandmother in slavery for her own well-being, and she submitted to them, she became the host of their children. Their children was called the black sheep, and their policy that they was beginning to use a new system of control, which they call the American system or the United States of this continent that was called Americas. Okay, now people will say, well, that's not what it's called. It's called a maxim. It's called this. It's called that. It's called land of the frogs, land of the turtles, whatever. That does not change the scientific fact that those who are considered to be the slaves, masters, those who strive for mastery of different degrees and learning different things to take control and keep control of those people who I'm speaking about now that were called slaves, those who are melanated, those who had melanation on the skin, those who were tagged by the angelic realm to say, you know what, leave these people alone. They're not to be messed with because we are watching you. We see you, we hear you, we smell you. We created you and we let you evolve, and you evolved. And these people here that's melanated, they are your high priest. They are your high priestess. They were the ones that was here before your creation, because we gave them life and we spliced ourselves and our genes and gave them superiority over all those who do not have melanation on their skin. So it was the melanates or the melanites that those who speak about other people who were considered to be historians, translators, and people took them to be their master, their new master teacher, or teaching them the mastery of things, teaching them how to be in tribal formation. So people were not ready to hear that because you needed someone in the middle of that. You needed a bridge, someone to explain to you what the translator is talking about. And now that's where I come in as a sayer. Okay? So they say, well, you're a sayer. It's the same word as savior. Here to save you from the things that you ran away from. So those who walked with me in the year 77, which to many of you was a long time, because those who walked with me, they got disconnected for many reasons. And the first reason is they didn't resonate to the teachings. So they got the introduction to what was going on. And what I now teach as the royal cipher, to include those that have a bit of resonation of the frequency of the timeline of this creation, which only goes back 10,000 years, which to many of you is a very long time. If you think 30 to 40 years or 100 years or 200 years is a long time, think about 10,000 years, or think about 2,000 years. Think about the calendar that you worship today. When I say worship, the calendar that you admire, that you live for these holidays, which is considered to be a hole in a day or a release from the pressures of your taskmasters. That is with names like manager or boss or things of that nature, supervisor. The word supervise, super, that means that they have something that's over you. You are ordinary, they are super. They advise you. They use these words and they put them together, shorten them, put the root of words together, put a destination, put meanings to the words that don't correspond for your ability to get out of the trap that you're in. Is called captivity. They are the captors. They are the capitalizers. They capitalize off of you. And as far as your energy, they give you tickets that's called money. So you can barter, you can trade, because you have not stopped at the Sabbath to gather, to get your reinforcements, to get your festivity and appreciation of self, which is the all. So the frequency, these words that I say to you, you cannot receive them because you're not looking to get out of the confusion that you are, the lies that you live. The word lie is the word Eli, backwards. So your whole lifestyle, your whole everything you do is backwards. You're not even in the game of getting out the trap. So you in one complete side of the equation that matters, because we build a bridge for you to come over and out of that. We taught you of a mental path that's called the Sirat, or the straight and the narrow, or the bridge, or Sirat al-Mustaqim, the path of righteousness that the righteous will walk on. Those who are right in us, those, when we say right, we're not talking about left, right, left. We're talking about RITES. We're talking about WRIGHT. We're talking about WRITE. So right, and right is different types of right. But this righteousness for the right is in the learning each day of the rituals. The rights of you all, ritual. But you want to take the translator. That was his job. His job was not the sayer. His job was to translate as he was transported like human cargoes in the airplanes to fly to Egypt and fly people here and teachers from around the world to come to what they call America, the United States, the melting pot, as we call it, the cage, or the filthy bird, the eagle, who is a bird of prey, P-R-E-Y. You got to know these words, prey, P-R-E-Y, and the words prayer, P-R-A-Y, and then prayer, P-R-A-Y-E-R. You got to stop at the Sabbath and get your own land gauge. Then you can return back as sovereign. Then you can understand about the UCC codes and how the maritime laws that they put on you in your birth because you were in water. So they took the opportunity to use the codes of the water and put it on land and charge you certain what they call laws that you're not even aware of, because it's not given to you in the public and private school. You're giving information to continue to be in servitude. This is why they give you the course that is called subject. Sub means to be beneath, subjected to their teachings, for you to be a slave, for you to be a servant, for you to be a maid, to you to be made to do it. It doesn't take a rocket science ship to explain to you, because I was in that situation to wait for the translator to give the translation to his best ability, which you now call facts. But the facts is not the ultimate. The facts is just the things that occurred at many different times in the timeline. But going forward, it doesn't take facts. It takes what we call the continuation of the knowing, to be in the now and continue using the things that are not activated in you. Some people call it the Bathyrian gland, the Bathory gland. But if you look at the word and just break it down and be sly and able with the syllables, the word syllable only means sly and able. So if you're talking about the bar, B-A-R, you're talking about something that is beneficial. And if you're talking about Bathory, you're talking about the theory of that which is beneficial for you. When you're talking about Weatherford and the vibration of sound and healing, sound healing, you're talking about someone who has been in a situation, that endured the situation, observed the situation, and now has given you to explain the X, making the X plain, explain. The X is the unknown. The X is the root of what they call the cross. The cross is the sign of addition. So they took the opportunity to use the codes of the books and how people. You think that yeah, this is for those who cheated, got relaxed, and then they jumped the gun because they thought this life was going to be fun. When I came to the planet, and about, I would say, in the 70s, just make them random 70s, and those who were already proceeded, when they talk about family, the word family is now familiar spirits or familiar souls from the host. The host is what we call the one that grows the body and gives birth, which they call it mother. The word mother is M for me, O-T for out, H-E-R is out of here or her. So they say mother. They say mammy or mother or mommy, my me, connected because you are your mother. They bring a division to this connection by the word gender. When they say you're a boy, you're a girl, that automatically stops the connection that you have with your host, which they call mother. Okay, mother's the English word. Mother is the word I explained the best way I could to those who are trying to find out from a scientific point of view what is going on. So your mother's your host, and basically with the conception of two families, and these particular families represent that they was in famine, and is F-A-M for famine, for me, famine, and I-D, or famine, lying in famine, which means they had nothing, that they didn't know who was what, they didn't have no family ties, genealogy, they didn't have no study of who they needed, who they came from, where they come from. They had no knowledge of this. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. That's why they talk about slavery. They're talking about slavery and the fact that when they talk about slavery here, now we're talking about a beautiful type of slavery that was calculated so no one would truly understand what was going on. So they separated people. They killed the fathers. They sold the fathers. They They did all manners of evil that you can say, and honestly, I really don't want to keep repeating these things over and over because it regurgitates, it makes you live this thing over and over. Every time you hear it, you want to hear more because in your DNA has a lot of junk in it. Because when they raped your mother, or if she was willing to open her legs, your grandmother in slavery for her own well-being, when she submitted to them, she became the host of their children. Their children was called the black sheep, and their policy that they was beginning to use a new system of control, which they call the American system or the United States of this continent that was called Americas. Okay, now people will say, well, that's not what it's called. It's called a maxim. It's called this. It's called that. It's called land of the frogs, land of the turtles, whatever. That does not change the scientific fact that those who are considered to be the slaves, masters, those who strive for mastery of different degrees and learning different things to take control and keep control of those people who I'm speaking about now that were called slaves, those who are melanated, those who had melanation on the skin, those who were tagged by the angelic realm to say, you know what, leave these people alone. They're not to be messed with because we are watching you. We see you, we hear you, we smell you. We created you and we let you evolve, and you evolved, and these people here that's melanated, they are your high priest. They are your high priestess. They were the ones that was here before your creation, because we gave them life and we spliced ourselves and our genes and gave them superiority over all those who do not have melanation on their skin. So it was the melanates or the melanites, that those who speak about other people who were considered to be historians, translators, and people took them to be their master, their new master teacher, or teaching them the mastery of things, teaching them how to be in tribal formation. So people were not ready to hear that because you needed someone in the middle of that. You needed a bridge, someone to explain to you what the translator is talking about. And now that's where I come in as a sayer. Okay? So they say, well, you're a sayer. It's the same word as savior. Here to save you from the things that you ran away from. So those who walked with me in the year 77, which to many of you was a long time, because those who walked with me, they got disconnected for many reasons. And the first reason is they didn't resonate to the teachings. So they got the introduction to what was going on. And what I now teach as the Royal Cipher, to include those that have a bit of resonation of the frequency of the timeline of this creation, which only goes back 10,000 years, which to many of you is a very long time. If you think 30 to 40 years or 100 years or 200 years is a long time, think about 10,000 years or think about 2,000 years. Think about the calendar that you worship today. When I say worship, the calendar that you admire, that you live for these holidays, which is considered to be a hole in a day or a release from the pressures of your taskmasters. That is with names like manager or boss or things of that nature, supervisor. The word super, that means that they have something that's over you. You're ordinary, they are super. They advise you. They use these words and they put them together, shorten them, put the root of words together, put a destination, put meanings to the words that don't correspond for your ability to get out of the trap that you're in. Is called captivity. They are the captors. They are the capitalizers. They capitalize off of you. And as far as your energy, they give you tickets that's called money. So you can barter, you can trade, because you have not stopped at the Sabbath to gather, to get your reinforcements, to get your festivity and appreciation of self, which is the all. So the frequency, these words that I say to you, you cannot receive them because you're not looking to get out of the confusion that you are, the lies that you live. The word lie is the word Eli, backwards. So your whole lifestyle, your whole everything you do is backwards. You're not even in the game of getting out the trap. So you in one complete side of the equation that matters, because we build a bridge for you to come over and out of that. We taught you of a mental path that's called the Sirat, or the straight and the narrow, or the bridge, or Sirat al-Mustaqim, the path of righteous that the righteous will walk on. Those who are right in us, those, when we say right, we're not talking about left, right, left. We're talking about RITES. We're talking about WRIGHT. We're talking about WRITE. So right, and right is different types of right. But this righteousness for the right is in the learning each day of the rituals. The rights of you all, ritual. But you want to take the translator. That was his job. His job was not the sayer. His job was to translate as he was transported like human cargoes in the airplanes to fly to Egypt and fly people here and teachers from around the world to come to what they call America, the United States, the melting pot, as we call it, the cage of the filthy bird, the eagle, who is a bird of prey, P-R-E-Y. You got to know these words, pray, P-R-E-Y, and the words prayer, P-R-A-Y, and then prayer, P-R-A-Y-E-R. You got to stop at the Sabbath and get your own land gauge. Then you can return back as sovereign. Then you can understand about the UCC codes and how the maritime laws that they put on you in your birth, because you were in water. So they took the opportunity to use the codes of the water and put it on land and charge you certain what they call laws that you're not even aware of, because it's not given to you in the public and private school. You're giving information to continue to be in servitude. This is why they give you the course that is called subject. Sub means to be, beneath, subjected to their teachings, for you to be a slave, for you to be a servant, for you to be a maid, to you to be made to do it. It doesn't take a rocket science ship to explain to you, because I was in that situation, to wait for the translator to give the translation to his best ability, which you now call facts. But the facts is not the ultimate. The facts is just the things that occurred at many different times in the timeline. But going forward, it doesn't take facts. It takes what we call the continuation of the knowing, to be in the now and continue using the things that are not activated in you. Some people call it the Bathyrian gland, the Bathyry gland. But if you look at the word and just break it down and be sly and able with the syllables. The word syllable only means sly and able. So you're talking about the bar, B-A-R, you're talking about something that is beneficial. And if you're talking about Bathyry, you're talking about the theory of that which is beneficial for you. When you're talking about wonderful and the vibration of sound and healing, sound healing, you're talking about someone who has been in a situation, that endured the situation, observed the situation, and now has given you to explain the X, making the X plain, explain. The X is the unknown. The X is the root of what they call the cross. The cross is the sign of addition, adding on the I on, addition, add I on. The cross is the instrument of the luminaries that they want you to say stars with the luminaries, the light that's in the sky, the measurement. That's what the cross is. If you do the research and see, the cross is an instrument of measurement of the stars, of the luminaries, the lights in the skies. See, that bring forth who we are, where we come from, our fathers, who are in heaven. The heaven is the haven, is the port, is where we come from. We're stretched down here through what we call etheric cord. Just like you have an umbilical cord, you have an etheric cord. And when the umbilical cord is cut, the etheric cord is giving you your substance. But if you are stuck in your body, if you are trapped off into the illusion that you are the body, and you want to dress the body, and you want the body to look a certain way, and you use what they call the cosmos or cosmetology to fool you into what we call vanity, vain, things that are vain. So getting back to the family, those who don't know, and the frequency of the family, because they are not in tune with the vibrationals letters that they call words. And those that have accepted certain words, so they're following on a path that's destructive, that's not righteous. And they're doing things in customs. If you look at the custom, straight cuss them out, give them false realities, give them things that will take them away from their true purpose, pure position. They say, well, what they did to you is put jealousy. So if you don't say it, it ain't right. So, or you can hear it, agree with it, but don't teach it. Because now you're hiding it. And this was done all through slavery. They would never be able to say nothing. They would never be the one that is teaching. They would always hear something and say, the master says this, or such and such says this, but they were going in the wrong direction. You need to stop, turn around, and look at yourself. Because you can't be no one else. And the things that you're doing, if you don't have a reason to work, if you don't have a plan to get out of this type of behavior, and if your plan doesn't proceed to help others get out of the situation, then you're running away. If you have a business that holds people back, that feeds people poisons, and when we say poison, we're talking about foods that's not healthy. We're talking about doing things and making articles that's not helpful. People have a lot of gifts, but when you being a CNA, that's not going to work no more. You can give them back that position. Stop wiping other people's ass and washing them down and cleansing for them. And that's what happened. Your genes you have low jack genes. Your genes has been hijacked. Your DNA, you take pride in being broke down people, saying your family is from a European country. That's something, you take pride in that. And instead of doing what you heard and didn't realize what it was, and that was called sexual healing. To deal with yourself and those that look like you, and that would breed you out of, I said breed like the bread you eat. That's why they call it bread. See, you would breed out of the confusion and go back. It would take 4 generations. So by the time this knowledge God came here, say 70s, that's 4 generations. We're into 4th generation. We're into the 5th generation. So the 4th and the cleansing has been done. All those who went back and cleanse themselves the other way, which is called integration. No, the angelic realm, we don't deal with integration. So you have to start all over again, another 4 generations. And those of you coming from a different type of slavery, a different slavery tactic, those who are coming from the offset of Americas and the separation of the land mass, and we call them different islands. They call the Caribbeans, carry the beans away. Caribbeans, Cuba, St. Thomas, all these other people who had a different type of slavery and a different type of relationship for the people who have invaded the globe with their presence that coming from Europe. Those was French, the Portuguese, those were Spanish, those who were from British, English. So these people had a way of utilizing their tribal formation, going into disguise, and creating other words to identify themselves. So you wouldn't even have a clue. Treating the people in St. Kitts nice, treating the people in Jamaica harshly, treating the people in America worse. Worse meaning doing things to them that was inhumane. Because these people were considered to be the lowlife, the vagabonds, the scum of the earth. And this is why they didn't want them in England, which those people were considered to be the blue bloods, the bloods that was not tainted, the royalty. That's what they say, royal blue color. They talk about the bloodline. Then you had the bloodline of what they would call the Roses and the Yorks. And it was the Roses, the Yorks and the Lancasters. Those were cast off the land. And those Yorks was the diplomats, but they were still renegades, and they're still not the royal people. The royal people stayed in England. They didn't travel on the ships. They sent emissaries. They sent people and gave them what they call charters. And they established this, which they now call the United States of Mind, the states of mind of those in the Americas. America is broken down as a mayor of kings that was already here, that was considered to be unified with the 7 seas. That's why you have certain organization that use seas. Sea is like the sea, the ocean, the sea group, or the sea this or this and that, or even the fact in scientific terminology as the semen, the sperm, the germ, the semen, those who live in the water, those who travel the water to get to the landmass, those who use the landmass with sounds that you call language or language, those who use symbols as alphabets. Alpha, it means first, beta means woman, the first articulation of sound, and what goes first is 1, the number 1 is first, but before 1 is neutral, and that neutral communication was mental. That mental was the transferring of mental thoughts. So when people say, what was the first language? It didn't have anything to do with the first language. It had to do with mental telepathy. And mental telepathy was always here. But that's not spoken about, because those who do not use their higher senses, those who were cut off from the spinoff of the six or the Y. The six represents the six, which represents the joining of the spiritual, or would you say the higher senses. And getting back to those who were family and were in famine, didn't have this affirmation that you're hearing. They didn't have the information to speak it, so they ran away. And those in the 70s that had this knowledge, they didn't take time for it to digest. They started using it along with their bad habits from being in a habitat that they were fighting since slavery. Inappropriate touches, disrespectful of others, had no true experience in this new teachings because they didn't walk with the teachings. They started using it before they let it digest. They didn't do the analyzation of their surroundings, which is say, do the knowledge. They didn't do the knowledge. They wasn't aware. They didn't speak it. They didn't teach it. They held on to it and they claimed to it, and then they got vain with it. They got to the point where they felt that they were better than everyone else, and they got bitter because those who did not resonate on that particular low frequency that they had in the 70s about religion and spirituality and who's in charge and who was given a territory to run and rule and all this foolishness, that was not important to the angelic realm that stayed here and watch you leave and watch you come back in the wrong formation. You're not even unified. You have not been communified. You're not in a community setting. You cannot see the returning souls. You're not naming them properly. You see, you're not reinstating and giving confirmation to the things that's necessary for your continuation. So, those people that took control by force, those people who were agents and did it in secrecy to hurt and stop those of the righteous. Now you're in the trap. You're in quarantine now. You're in the Alpha Romero program that was in 1982. You're in the Rex 84, REX 8 and 4. 8 and 4, 84, REX 84, which was the stopping point from the 70s of the extraterrestrials coming here in the angelic form and taking on those who were faithful and working with them as dual spirits, energy, high energy, or they say ET, extraterrestrials, those who are extras on this terrain or this territory called Earth, or Key, or Adrut, Tenet, and other names. So when we get back to those who took the information, those who took an oath to the cleansing that is called Quran. The word Quran is two words. It's core, which means cool, which means say. Kuhu, Allahu Akbar. Say, He, Allah, is Wahid. Wahid means one, the oneness. The oneness of the total, not the oneness in place as first. The oneness in alumnus and a unification of what we now call the all. When we say Allah, we bring it down elementary as all, A-L-L, or Al, A-L, and L-A-H, the source, A-L, and L-A-H, and no other. Then you create A-L-L, all, and A-H, life. And then broke it down with the life and split the good and the bad on the one line, the infinite, before the infinite was taken as a circle. But the infinite was stretched as from a nukta or a dot and stretched out and cut in half. Well, one side would perceive to be what they call evil, and the other would be good. But that evil was the expansion of the evolutionary process. And the other side, what you call good, was supposed to be that would represent kindness and loving and happiness and championing all the fulfilling things that was proclaimed for what they call Adam, the people of the ground. And the people of the ground was the people of this new type of creation, or what we call recreation. Before they were dinosaurs, before they were people in the water, before they got on the water, they lived under the sea. They call them fish, just to deter you, to keep you from even thinking about marine life or the people that they call animals. The word animal is an, which means twice, and I and mal mean kings. So they're talking about people, but they're not using the word people no more, because the people is associated with pebbles, or people who are solidified, or the energy that's solidified in the rock. The rock is the body, which is the solid or the dense particles of what they call the atoms, A-T-O-M-S. So when they talk about the Adam, they had included the life. The blood was the lifeline that kept the organs nourished and kept everything in the cycle of cleansing. So getting back to 1977 and that material age, and then you had these 80s babies, which basically I'm talking to now, those are the 80s children. And then the 90s really came fast. And so now people were more in tune with what they needed, but they wasn't giving it, because those that was in the 70s, they took it and they did not do their job correctly. You still have people now that's still here and refuse to open their lip, because now they cannot say, because they would implement themselves in all the things that they did. Then they broke the commandments, all the unrighteous things they did, while having this knowledge of right. They didn't utilize it properly. They didn't gather together. They did not hold on to the rope that they were told to, and pull that rope and hold on and hold up what we call the blood-stained banner, the bloodline of the righteous that is written in the books that we call Hadith, or what they call the New Testaments. These are books that the story, people use them stories and take those stories to be them. But these people were melanated. These people had rights and ties with the angelic realm, who are the true host. Your mother is the host too. Each mother is a host of their what we call tribes, which now they call ethnic group or race. That's the political terminology. So we have to go back. You need to back up and go back into the biblical, and then you can see. Take the firm, the jump, the lies, and go back into the Bible. It's there. It's one in every house. It's 2 or 3 in the house. You need to sit down and read it, because the translator came, broke down what he thought was efficient for you to go ahead and to research and to go ahead and find yourself approved of this writing that was saved for you. That even kings use these Bibles. They use it to rule their kingdom. They altered it, but their intentions was to keep people in control. To keep people on the planet Earth. To keep people. They had people who did war, just as the war was going on. When the angels was more present, you had people who established a business in war. You had banks who established a method of barter. And for those who don't know what barter is, that's a shame. But I will tell you, barter is, look at the word, barter, right? Barter. You got BARTER, okay? This say barter. Bar means good. Good means that we can utilize it without any penalty from the heavens. So the word bar means good, like when people take for law. The word law, right, is the word LAW. It's also LAW, and the LAW, the M and the W is the same. So you have the MAL. So mal means king, and law is the rules of the kings. The old kings was called kings, majesty, emperor. The new kings is called president, president, or those who govern, governors. Those who may do things called mayors. So it's all here for you today. And those who were here in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, you did the best you could. There is no animosity about the contributions that you have made, but you still need to take your ass in the back of the line and get purified and go through the system that you have already took an oath to. Don't take no more oath to another fraternity or sorority. If you a sister, do you assist a sister? A. Put the A in front of sister and assist those that you're supposed to assist. Take the ER off of a sister, the OR, the ER, IR, AR off of us, and just assist. Because when you say a sister and you got the ER on there, the ER, AR, IR, OR, AR, it represents which means fire, the destructive force. So who am I to speak these things that it doesn't even resonate on many of you? Because you took something that was not yours. You didn't fall in the right natural order. You overstepped your boundaries. And you went and you did things with the enemy. You worked for the enemy. You knew they were the enemy. You didn't say anything, and you got deeper and deeper. You were knee deep in it, and now you're stuck over your head. So I've come away to elevate you, to get you to walk in the path, get on the end of the line, submit yourself as a child, and learn all over again. That's where submitting yourself as a child comes in. Because if you don't, you're dealing with humanity. After the age of 13, you're considered to be what they call grown and what they call the light of the covenant. They call it the son of the covenant, but the son is the light. The light of the covenant, And it's called bar mitzvah, and that word bar again means that it's beneficial or good. You see, and this is not the best word, but this is the word of affiliation, a word of the common denomination, that you all can see that word and don't get stuck on that word and try to break that word down for your betterment. Use that word to get you in alignment with your true self and not your self-flesh. So this is what we're teaching today. So what contributions have you made towards humanity and the upliftment of those after the age of 13 who are considered by the heavens and naturally they considered to be in position to contribute, in position to be in a tribal formation, in position to start to reproduce itself so that those angelics, etheric forces will be able to come down into new bodies. Because someone taught you that you do not have to replenish and fulfill the earth, that you can abort children, that you can put on a condom, that you can do things and take shots so you will not be in your respond and ability to respond with natural nature. So you think that you don't have to deal with children or have children. This is an untruth, which is a falsehood, which is a lie, which is something that you gravitated to because you're lazy and you don't want to respond properly. You don't have the ability to respond because prior to you hearing this, you did not respond. You were not privileged to this because your guardians, who you call your parents, who are defined scientifically as host, which we call mother, me, M-O-T, out, H-E-R, her, mammy, mother, the mammal, from the mammary gland substance that she was supposed to give you, she shut that down, her titty milk, her breast milk, because she didn't want to deal with that. She didn't give you enough for the bonding, so you now go elsewhere to get that love with the pop-up bra, with the secret of the bras, Victoria's Secrets, so you can look like natural nature and you have the substance that everyone needs, but it's shut down. So they shut it down. They shut down your breast. So now you're drinking nuts. You're going nuts with nutty nuts. You're going nuts with soybeans. You're drinking anything that turns white. They're bleaching stuff to make it look like your sustenance, your antibiotics in the chest that they shut it down because they got you doing other things. You're working as a secretary. You're a sect for them. A sect is something that is divided. Secretarianism, you're a secretary. You're a wife. You're with him. The word wife comes from the word with. You're with your wife. That's my wife. And she's in the house. She does or do domestic. Do me, stick me. I stick her and she breathes and have children for me. The other one works off the ice. Ice is the policy. The word policy. Icy, power. Icy, policy. The ice. The office. She's off the house, the main, with the home. House is HOUSE, home, being used. Wife is with. See, all these words, you don't know these words. You took them for granted. You ran with something. You thought it was true. You wanted degrees in that, and you got more and more diplomas, being a diplomat for their program so you could be a slave subjected to their teachings. So these things we say with the infinite flow, the manifest truth, and that the love light grow in you so you can shine your light and be a beacon. You could be beacon, okay? Be and can, not be and con, okay? Now you remember, the word can is from the Canaanite tribe. The Canaan text, Google that, Canaanite tribe, Canaan text, it was 12. The 12 is what they call in a boardroom, that the 12 is the chairpersons, or, they use the word 12, which is a dozen. The word dozen is do, and the word Zen. Zen is a religious type of thinking. It's called Zen, like the Buddhists. So all these words that you're using is now can be put so you can get out. You can jump on this word, and jump on that word, and jump on this word to get out of this system of control and ruling you as a slave, ruling you in deception and falsehood. People say that Black Lives Matter because you were considered to be the black sheep of their family, because they don't even know this information that you're privy to here at this time. And those who had it before, it was given to them for them to do and walk through the information and live the information and teach the information. So at this time, and probably before this time, you would have more information to go on. The information, knowledge, we're talking about knowledge, and we're going slow. Knowledge is the ledge of that which they knew at that time. They wrote it, they was the author, and in time, they become the authority. If someone does not disprove it, they become the authority of what is written. So these things that I have said and I have written, I am the new authority. I am the new school of this new healing, which is called Wonderful, from Wonderful or Wadu, which is the agreement, Rahubat, which is to bring back that which is the light. It is the energy, and to bring it al-hayat into life, Rahubat. Okay, so now you've heard the testimony of the angelic realm, who's here, built the bridge, so you can return back to that which is rightfully yours, so you can have an overview. You can take a stand, rise up, take a stand to get an overview, so you can stand over on your righteous platform and continue to oversee and help those and uplift humanity with no hate. It's not about hating anyone. It's about telling the truth and starting the truth with El Haq. Find out what is El Haq. Find out about the double switch of what they call Muhammad. Find out the name of Ahmed Quraysh and what they call the land of Sudan, the Mahdi, from the word Huda, which is the same as Judah, which is guide. These are the things you have to start with. The bloodline, the blood. The blood is the cleansing. The blood is the food and the energy. The blood is everything. So the bloodline, the people with this bloodline, from Mary to Elizabeth, find out that Elizabeth means Eli, the woman, is bathed and exalted. That's what they say, Holy Mary. Mary is my ray, the ray and the light of I am, A-M, or M-A, Mom. Mom's rays, her light that she was giving, right? What they say, the glory, right? The glory is the glow and the ray. Glory, glory. She's a Mom's ray, Mom, M-A, ray. She was given the faith. The faith was to bring about the movement faithfully. Fully, with this faith, the continuation of the movement would bring about the evidence that's not seen. That's not seen is not some, but no thing which is etheric, which you now falsely call spiritual, is those who wanted to spy on the rituals or spy on the rule. Spiritual is spy on the root, which is the life energy force. And etheric is the ET, extraterrestrial, here on this planet, on the plan, ET, planet. So it all comes back to a simplified what it is, what it do. And those who want to make it complex, those who wanted to make it confusion, and to con them and fuse it with that which is real, it's not working no more. Those who, the entities of the wind, which is my friend, so you're not going to get the wind to go against me. You're not going to get the water to go against me. The water is going to go against those who are not in tune with those who are naturally the right order of nature, and those who attack with the melanation, and those who try to steal the melanation through rape, rap music, what they talk about contractual agreements, contracts, and acts of contracts, contractual agreements with the he not me, he not me, enemy. No. Sound healing is very simple for that, and he and who was given the ability to make it happen. Those who make it happen, like they the captain of the ship. So those who lied, those who cheated, those who still running and talking about what this next man did and why he didn't do it and if he's great. All of y'all is talking trash. The track came out by Sonic, all that jazz, talking trash, whatever they put out there at the same time, Daddy-O and whatever everybody else's name was. I don't recall everybody's name, but they did a good job. They sacrificed their services toward righteousness and helped what they call South Africa. This was a global project. That's why it took so long. It was a global. It was not just United States. It was a global. But basically, my crew that I still hold dear to, even though they misconstrued who I was, and they actually bumped me off the grid of what I could have been more assets at that time. So everything a person does, it is not in tune with the origin of which should be. It goes against them themselves. So that was the roller skating world. But I do give a big shout out to who he calls himself, legendary Bill Butler, for his active participation at a time when it was necessary, when those other parents, they were stretching themselves and working overtime just to provide the necessary important factors of food, clothing, and shelter. And at the time, we were being invaded chemically with chemical warfare and drugs. And he provided a way out of the cement jungle and the 5 boroughs and the east, the top, the north, as far as roller skating, and then as far as getting them into certain places, as far as the Roxy, I was put in charge of the roller skating academy. So we provided that big Bob up in the place to be as a DJ. Actually, Bill Butler started coming into the Roxy and doing things. After that, I shattered the records with the skating, but didn't conform to his teachings. So therefore, I was not given the credibility. We also gave him a big shout out and a form of congratulations for his participation. We talk about legendary Bill Butler. We gave him a trophy in honor of his worthiness, for him helping us, because he was definitely from another generation, and that generation, like I said, did the best that they could, and big shout out to Valdina Townsley, and big shout out to all the people that was working with us and the lawyers that we had at the time of this collaboration, dealing with unity. So this is never going to be about hate. This is about returning back to our rightful position, and it's a fact that in the music, you can go to the music in the 80s and you will see a vast majority of many people contributing, the average white band. You had different melanated people, and then those people who were not blessed with the melanation as we worked together. And these were considered to be privileged, slaves or indentured servants, and the people that was coming over here in the form of immigration, going through Ellis Islands and immigrations and stuff like that, which now they're mixing up the facts where, there's so much other things going on. But you had your immigrations, then you had what they call people coming from all over the world on boats and ships and planes and stuff like that, coming to New York and being processed into this Americas, right, through New York State, right? And then you had other people that was coming from the down south area, with South Carolina, Virginia. They was also coming in as slaves, for the agriculture, and upstate New York. It was agriculture, but was mainly what they would call business format, industrial, the industrial system of things, machines and stuff like that. Down south was continued cotton and farming and things of that nature. But then you had another movement, right, which was called immigration. Immigration was always here, where people from South America, Central America, walked all the way up to Canada, and all the way from Canada to what is called now Alaska, right? Alaska, if you look at the word Alaska, right? And this is the last part, or the first part, or the gateway to what they call the New World. The New World starts at Alaska, and the Old World is continued with the break off of a land bridge called the Bering Strait. The Bering Strait goes to what they call China, Russia, and Mongolia. So that area, then they go all the way, keep going, then you'll go to Europe, and then from Europe you go to Spain and all of that, then you come back to what they call Morocco, and from Morocco and the Red Sea and all the areas over there, that goes back into what they would call Africa. You see, and Africa is the word means land of separation. So when you hear people talk about Africa, they are far from the knowing of the truth of the time when it was not called Africa, which the best time which people use now is to call Asia. And the word Asia doesn't say it was so long, and because one part of Asia, which they call Asian, or Asia, which they call China, China had a wall, the Great Wall of China, that didn't let people in, didn't let people out, and they proceeded to use that particular time with their dynasties and different emperors and rulers at that particular time. So they had their own way of living in there. Other people like Russia also broke off, and if you say Asia, you'll see the word Asia in Russia, Asia. And so that particular Asia, North Asia, South Asia, East Asia, West Asia, and then you had to break off with the land mass, right? And that brought about the different continents that they call it now. The continent is the continent, right? So these words could be broken down more specifically for those, but we did a lot. You have a wealth of information to get back at the end of the line. Learn what you need to do. Like, share, and also make comments. Now, also make comments, but make your own. Start to teach. You teach, you say, well, I don't know enough. You're in the now. You have knowledge of the past. And by the power of the tongue, you project those things that's beneficial for your duplication that you wrongly call children, and the elders who have paved the way for you. Even though I will tell the truth about what happened, they were there, they were present. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Bill Butler. If I see you, if I don't see you, it'd be a blessing. You see, but I just want to put it on the record, set the record straight, that your participation was appreciated. It wasn't what I would have done, and your affiliation with those who orchestrated the movement of skating, it was beneficial. But sometimes you have to slow your roll and listen, and don't be as arrogant. So now, those that precede you and those that you taught, right, they need to know. They need to also get at the end of the line and don't put people in the wrong place. So I'm just going to leave that with that. I want you to have a blessed day. All especially roller skaters, Skate Master Spark in the building. Sparkle roller dance. It would have been a big different. A lot of things happen because of greed. A lot of people because of mixed messages, liars, instigators. An instigator is someone who tells a lie about somebody and then basically try to spread that lie. Territorial disagreements, because the roller skating rinks was considered to be stables. A stable is where you have your women come in and you pick and choose, and she pick and choose who she want to be with. And this was the nightlife, which the nightlife is considered to be the new day. So it's a lot of different things. So bringing in the spiritual element to something that was never there. The slavery, you had the slave mentality. You had the slave people doing what they doing from their genes broken down and becoming like scum of the earth and doing all treacherous things and different sexual types of things that we were trying to come in and cleanse. We were the new messiahs coming through from a place that was well guarded, that was well represented, was the Bushwick. It was the wick, the light of the bush. It was a continuation of the onset, what they call angelic realm. And we came to the roller drome, right? And if you look at the word roller dome or roller drome, it was drome, G-R, with Dr. O for the cipher of the me, the Master Elohim coming through. But that wasn't appreciated because those people that was in the front, they had to burn out, and they did what they did. To them, it was nature, it was natural. They wasted a lot of time for them that they had, and now they in whatever situation that they be in, and their duplication, which they wrongly call children, is suffering from this. So we're now in a pandemic. If you read the books that I have, it will take you out of the pandemic. It will take you out of the system of control that is now controlled by the FEMA or the Army, 10 districts, and the states are just a lower excuse of control. So those mayors and the Justice Department, they have no control, true control, with the Constitution being dismantled and put in a position by what they call a soft law, which was Rex, R-E-X, 84, in the year 1984. And then you have what they call the agenda, and it was Agenda 21 by the year 21, which this is 21 as I'm speaking, that certain things would happen, that those people who they call human beings, and they didn't teach them right. They taught them to be slaves and then just serve it. Privileged slaves, privileged slaves, right? Whatever position that they had, they would not be necessary to maintain. So they needed to depopulate them, take them off the planet. So they started doing that with giving them German measles and all kind of shots. They started giving them the disease to break them down. And now with the onset of the 19, which is actually part of our crew, which is the unseen, right? The microscopic germs, the viruses that they now are shooting into people to destroy them once they shut down the mammary glands, which is the titties, is the milk, the substance of the antibiotics, because we're supposed to not only live by, with, by, and for each other, but we eat off each other. The eat is the eight. The eight is the continuation of infinity from the chemicals of the natural of the man and the woman. You see, with the man, with his sperm being the catalyst for new life, embodiment of gold, silver, platinum, and all the necessary minerals, right, that it is needed, vitamins that is needed for new life, is also for the continuation of the womb man and her juices that flow through her body from her root chakra to her mammary glands. So these are the things that were supposed to be given to those who were considered to be the Minutemen, those who were rolling on infinity with the 8 wheels, and the 8 wheels turned into what they call straight skates, or I don't even know the name of when they changed from the 2 4s into straight skate, right? And skate blades. The blade was to cut up the mission and the sight that we had as far as roller skating. Roller skating was, it is actually a way of the angelic being, the new forces that was coming through with the onset of different meteorites. When you see a meteorite coming through, that's energies coming from another galaxy, right? It's coming into this dimension and it's setting off particles. These particles is the same energy as what they call soul, but the word soul, S-O-U-L, is the word L-O-U-S or L-U-O-S, which is lose. So instead of lose, it was supposed to be S-A-L for Sal, and Sal was the determination of last or everlasting. You see, but this energy, it comes in and is monitored by what they call meteorites, right? So they want to say meteorites who monitor everything from the vibrations to the date that people's born, and then they take the monitoring of the luminaries, the skies, and the temperatures, and the wind factor, everything, and they put the date of people that was born, and they see who came in, what type of spirit came in, and this is done on a scientific level. This is not done on a level of what they call people. People represent the dense matter, and people, or their vibrational atonement, they consider to be pebbles or rocks. So with all this being said, we're gonna break out with the skating was the way that we had put in so people would resonate on a certain level. It won't be crushed by the pressures of gravity. See, gravity has a pull on people. That's why we speak and I teach that one must have what they call movement, a full range of motion, movement. If you don't have that, you'll be crushed by just gravity alone. And then the intake of the chemicals or the liquids and the foods. You know, the word food is the word fool. When they fooling you, they're not telling you the truth of what to consume. They have made you consumers. They have made you such a consumer that when you eat an apple, and the natural continuation of that apple is the seeds. The seed is the word said. The word said is a festive word. When you have a set, the set is 30 years. So the seed, when it grows, it matures and it brings forth that which it is, because that was a continuation of the people that was put here, right, and given grace, and not to be used in the mining of in the Congos or the looking for gold and stuff like that. Was the first onset of the expediation of the humans to expedite their growth and to use them as slaves, as the angelic beings did. So it took another set, another group When they talk about set and secretary, set and separation, and set, right? It took another group of angelic beings that come here to help those first set of greens and merge together. This is why I am not just Gabriel any long. We have came together. I am MG Michael Gabriel, all in one. I am Michael Gabriel Raphael, and all the angelic beings in one. I speak, I am the sayer, and the translator took all the facts, the knowledge, that which was done by others, those that were considered to be, what they say, in commerce, and respectively done well, and those who were just off the chain, doing anything randomly, putting all what we call facts together so I can eliminate the foolishness, give you a path so you can gravitate over, holding on to the rope so you will not use your extremities, which is your arms and your legs, to do devious things. This is another reason why when we make affirmations, which they call prayer, which is pre-air, the transfer of your thoughts. We make affirmations with your hand claps, touching your heart, feeling the power that is eliminating from the ether, the connection between you and your body, which is the heart, the emotions that make motions from your heart, the cleansing from the blood. So you put your hands on your heart to demonstrate the discipline that you have when you're making this affirmation that you will not steal, that you will not hurt nobody, that you will not think wrongly against one another. These are the things that you have to say, because this was given to you because you were giving the brain power through the splicing of and the joining of the angelic realm, as you being human, but you were given a special quality over the other humans that still have a right to live, but they were coming at a different evolutionary process. The angelic beings spread up a group that was melanated, and this group that was melanated is now being subjected to many things that is not no longer acceptable by those like me and those of the supernatural realm, like the air, the wind, and the sun. So with this that's being done, I give warning to all that is truthful in the warning as a warner. Is the war, is the war, and the light of the supernatural, not the natural, not nature. Nature has nothing to do. We're helping nature. We're the reinforcements of nature. So when those who say they are the Air Force, you lie. You lie because you're not the Air Force. You run through our air, my friend, my deity, me. Okay? When you say you are the, what they call Navy, from the word naval, from the navel, from the water in the womb, and the water on Earth, the planet Earth, the seas, which is 80%, you're not the Navy. You're on the water. You're underneath the water, which is fine. But it's at our permission, the angelic realm. So when you say that you are the army, you're the arm of the mind. You're not even the mind to have an arm for the people. No, you have told the people to come and to fight when we teach thou shalt not kill. And you have not put your energies, because the word energy is also a lie, because you're trying to end the law of the GY. So these days I'm telling you about the roller skating, the things that should have happened, and those people that have left, which we call died, because they're trying their contribution to the addition to a system that was maintained in the concrete jungles and the big cities that are the prisons of America. This system of vibrations. So for those who needed the continuation that came in as new beings. So have no fret for those who they say have died, for they are still here. They have recycled. We do not die. We multiply with expansion and we recycle. And if those women who have the ability to produce children do not respond ably, and they're neglecting their duties and responsibility while on earth, when men who are the seed carriers, who are not in their rituals of righteousness to proceed and do things according to that which was commanded, that which was given to them for them to be successful. If that does not happen, it will happen in a way where we will intervene and things will happen differently. But the supernatural will not stop, because those who think they can control the wind, you can't. Those who think that you have a majority of the water and the things underneath the water, you don't. Because my presence here is the reason for many things. Now, you have gotten rid of people as you thought before in the past, but they had did their job and it was okay. But it's not okay now. For those who are lying, for those whose DNA is not working properly, you will be cast aside. For those who hear this and you get that spark in your heart, you may get your ass at the end of the line. All your askings, all your doubts, all your continuation, you must stop at a halt. What we call it, stop at a dime. Drop a dime, stop at a dime. That's it. It's not stop and then, keep on going. Or in the scriptures it says, and sin no more. You are saved right now. The world was under grace for a long time. In all your inaccuracies and lies, you were still under grace. Had to formulate a system. This is the second year. The first year was to come back here, keeping my eyes open for an agreement, the calendar, to observe the calendar and what it really meant. It was a way of putting people under contract subliminally by the holiday of what they call a new year. The word year, Y-E-A-R, is the same word. Y-E-A is the same word as Y-E-S, which is yes or you agree. Y-E-A is Y-E-S is E-Y-S, which is ease. But you're at ease. You're letting people come into your circumference. You're agreeing with their determinations of how you should move, what day it is. What is a day? The day is a yad. Yad is the hand. How they're going to use your energy, how they're going to apply you, right? When I say energy too, remember, that's not the best word, but I still have to say enemy. Energy. It goes with enemy too. But we talking about energy. That's not the best word. That is just, it's other words, but we're going to say energy for now. I already told you what it was. I'm not going to keep saying it over and over and over. We're going nowhere. So we're talking about the energy that they use, right? Your fuel, your energy, your existence, your mental, your physical ability, your mental ability, your presence alone. Your presence stands for what they call, if you're there, it represents that you're in control. If you're on post is position. If you're in position, you're a variable. You can be seen, you're obstacle. It's all kind of theories on how to control the masses of the people. If you're working, they call you employed. If you're the slave, you employed. If you're not employed, if you employ the ones that is the employee and the employers, those who employ is considered to be those who control the employee. So you say, I'm an employee. You're always saying you're being controlled by the employer. Another word is saying that you're a slave to the master. So, but people right now, they don't know, they don't mind, but we're releasing that. And those people, those Minutemen that's been going around skating, big shout out to the women, big shout out. It's an exercise to keep you going. Like I said, for the new returning souls, and many of you are, because the old world is gone. It's a brand new word. It's a brand new world. And with this world and word, I'll explain, has been explained. You have to do the research. You'll see what I'm saying and defining the sounds that is called words. So we have been together right now. This is a good compilation of what is going on. And I think you should listen to it 9 times. And if you don't find it offensive, you can let others hear this. If you do find it offensive, you can speak to those with the importance of what it is, and do your own video, do your own audio. I mean, you're the continuation. As you breathe my air, you need to pay for it some way. You need to be active. You need to continuate, and you need to be do the knowledge. You need to be in the self, in the all. You need to recognize and appreciate those who will teach it and correct them if you see they say something that doesn't resonate, something that's void, something that's not needed any longer. The old heads. We always had a continuation of the new heads and the old heads and the new heads. And when someone was an old head and you see the new head coming through, the old head sometimes get jealous. And that's what happened with skating too. I rocked their ass. If they knew I rocked their ass, they didn't know why. They didn't know how. But I gave up the method of how I rocked their ass. And yes, it was with help naturally. You see, there's certain things that we are privileged to utilize, but they don't want us to have it. Because we do, we'll be extra on earth, extra. You see, but like I said, is many ways to get the job done. And those who got self-flesh instead of self, that's it. If you would have got to the self, you would have got to the all. And if you would have listened, you would have went inside yourself and rose up. And then it was a wealth of knowledge waiting for you. But as long as you're looking out, stealing, robbing, hating, you're not gonna get it. It's not. You're not gonna get it. This is something you have to sit down, and you have to, as the individual, you have to be the mediator, the middle point, in accepting your destiny. And that's what roller skating was at the time. If you listen to music in '83, and you roll with that, you'll find it's a cleansing in the music. The music didn't start getting bad. When we say bad, it is funny to say bad. They say the word bad doesn't mean good. It means good for you, you know. That's what we say badu, bada. It means good. So the word badu means good. So put it out there. Not putting nobody on Front Street, but Badu means good. And it was good for that time, Badu. And you already know what I'm saying. So, like I said, you know, it's just so many things. I randomly skipped that point. But it's so many things that's going on. Roller skating, you know, exercise, full range of motion, stop shrinking, stop deteriorating, reading, re-adding, and certain things could add that is necessary. Biblical times is still here. This is not modern times. The word modern and mold, we just say mode, M-O-D, modern, and D, modern, M-O-D-E-R-N. The N-E-R is nerd, which is nod, which is nord, which is light, and they have different types of light. So we say nerd, nor, nod, and nor, like in Nor or Norman, that means the light. You see? So there's different types of light in this, what we call creation. Creation consists of energy waves, microwaves, X-rays. All those are what they call energies of or spiritual forces, but it's not recognized in the public and private schooling system. So we're going to get back, but this is Scientific on the Mat, coming back, you know, and I basically hooked up with MG, Michael Jabril, Michael Gabriel, and Scientific, and is a different combination where we have the scientific facts and then we have the etheric realities and etheric, and then we have the bloodline of what we call the biblical times, all composed as one, and then we go through those who was here participating, those who should be acknowledged. Like give the big shout out to legendary Bill Butler, the whole skating, everybody is skating, from Big Bob to Little Mike. You know, they say rest in peace. I already told you, sleep in peace. All these terminologies, we recycle entities, so he's back again. Big shout out to his family, and you know, and everybody that was in the roller skating rink in Brooklyn, and Skate Key, Jamaica Roller Dome, you know, United Skates, you know, all the roller skating rinks, because you were a part of the evolutionary process. You were a part of the healing. You were a part of the expansion of the energy and the rotation of the planet. You were a part of what we put. Those were space ships in place, just as you have your they call pyramids. Those what we call it the stable, because the night is the new day. So those were the breaking of the new day each day, as we continue throughout the night, brought motion in what we call etheric forces. We accepted the etheric forces that was coming down. We're open the etheric cord that's in each and every one of the skaters and gave energies. We cleansed those that was coming in, and we, through our aura, which is our personal space, and our aura, it depends on the frequency. As a man thinketh, so shall he be. As I walk in the skate rink, I cleanse everyone. My aura alone, cleanse it. So being there 2-3 times a week, 4 times, 5 times a week roller skating, we cleanse the world. And when they walked out, they cleansed whoever they got in contact with. When they went back into their family, their dwelling, their house, their cells. You see, because like I said, these big cities is prisons. So that was the first prison ministry, and the ministers and administrators of this new force, this etheric force. These Minutemen, these special people that you see them rolling on the floor and flipping and splitting and going, what we say, 30 to 40 miles an hour. You see, round and round, counterclockwise, cutting out the times and getting younger and younger as they roller skate. Did you know that when you go counterclockwise, you're going against time, you're going against ordinary, and you start to perceive and receive different energies. We receive energies from each other. That's why the hair is very important. The hair is the antenna that receives energies. That's why we're in formation and unified. We become a force. We become a force not to be messed with. That's why they had to break down the roller skating, because they found out that we were here too long. They could not get rid of us. It was addictive. It was addictive because it was adding. You see, it was adding on to the expansion. We were healing those who were in a wretched state, those who were trapped off in Wrigley's Field, in what they call Brooklyn, Nostrand, Bedford Avenue, Bedford. Look at the word Bedford. No strand. No strand is the no connection to the etheric forces, the strand, the life force, the force that goes up to the heavens, your expansion. You're here as a hologram. You see, you're not really here. And this was our furthest part in the heaven. And then we talk about Cyrus A and Cyrus B, and then they say the word Sirius. Are you serious? Oh, are you connected to Cyrus? Oh, the Arion? Arion is the heaven? Okay. Are you Ariel? Ariel, like before, was Ariel or antenna. Ariel, the lioness. It was a billionaire. Maybe they're talking about the word billionaire. We talked about roller skating. You know the significance of roller skating, right? And actually, big shout out. It was past roller skating. It was roller healing. It was called Sparkle Roller Dance, right? And the spark was SP, right? Special Ark of the Living Tabernacle. And EL was the source of the most. The source, which is EL. And then they break it down to AL, you know, and then they broke it down to Illuminary was IL. So all these letters, all these symbols represent something. It's like when you say thank you, you say the Ankh, you say everlasting. So you're telling people beyond the people of their present position as servitors or slaves or employees or workers or whatever, careers and all this, you know, all these words that they're using, and they truly don't know. They walk around in confusion. They fused into a con game. And this con is everything from the continents, you know, the tenets of the con, the separation of the landmass, All this, you should know this. You should be in the now. This should be in your arsenal. It's in your hall, right? It's a hall, right? Hall is a good word, because it's still HALL. They say hall, but it's really Ali. The word hall is the word Ali. Arsenal is like arsenal. Arsenal Hall. Ali exalted. He knew a lot of information. Big shout out to Arsenal Hall. And big shout out to Lawrence Martin. It will be a time and a place for everything. Everything, the beginning and the end of those things that's not eternal. And like I said, this continuation with Lawrence Lawrence, and that's it, Lawrence, because I was also talking about Lawrence. There's other people named Lawrence, so let's not put people out there randomly. As the Spirit leads, we will go, because I'm now in tune with the Trinity of what we call the angelic realm, and then we're also the Lulu Avenue with the prophets and how they responded, through being a different type of species of Lulu Avenue or primitive workers. Even though they were giving ranks to be of a higher value, or exalted. The word value, the V is the U, and they say the W, you'll see two V's. So the word value is actually the same thing as Ali. The word hall is Ali. The word Haley is Ali, which means exalted, which is Eli, which is L, which means the source. So we done past the dense matter, right? The particles, the atoms, and we're into the etheric realm, as I explained to you, these many things that's going on. So we're talking about skating. We're talking about different peoples who was given their presence and broadcast. Broad, it means large, cast out as imagery, right? Imagery as far as dealing with the energies of creation, the wavelengths, the microwaves, the x-rays, the television waves. All of this is spiritual, as they say, but it's also part of the etheric realm of what we call resonance, or creation, because that's just a small spectrum. Light is a small spectrum in this creation. Everything else is waves. They call it waves, right? And big shout out to all the Wades, right? Because that represent the walking through, wading through the water, walking through the water, going through the water, waves. It's the same frequency as far as when we talk about sound and healing. So big up with all of that. So we're going to leave this here now, and we're going to go through this again. I want you to big shout out to all the roller skaters all over the planet. Big job to legendary Big Bob. Yes, like I said, done it. Did a great job. All the roller skaters of the world. I didn't mention a lot because I only can speak about what I know in reference to the affiliation with the JV skaters. I can give a big shout out with that. To the good skaters, I can give a shout out with that. STL rollers, I can give a big shout out with that. All the people from everywhere. This the whole skating family. This is Spark Roller Dance, Skate Master Spark in the building, Master Spark, Master Skate, Master Spark. Everything in reference to the unification. Big shout out to everybody. the blessings was one thing to be less, and to be less was the involvement of the reapers with the angelic realm, not messing with you. So if they say you were blessed, that means that you were not touched by the reapers who were involved in the separation of those who were considered to be right or righteous and those who were ungodly. And the word God that we use now is guardian, those who didn't take their rightful position, and they took a position of greed. So big shout out to all the roller skaters. And giving now what we call Barakat, which is the add-on, the plus, the addition, right? So you can navigate through this realm and get on that bridge, right? Get on the end of the line, learn, get purified, get cleansed mentally, learn about the anatomy, the body, learn about the spiritual from the Quran all the way to the biblical, all the way to Genesis, to Revelation, to Quran. Is considered to be one agreement from the angelic realm. So we done said goodbye, and then other entities want to come in and speak through me to you, because, like I said, this is the love. The love is the low frequency of our deity status, as those of you who have taken that position as the Turat, right, or the Wabians, or Sabians, right, or what they call Israelites, or what they call Christians, or what they call Muslims, even those who are Muslims, and just are making examples of those not to be like, those who say they are black Muslims, when I told you that the word black is the black sheep of the family of those who claim to be white, who is mentioned as Lynette, or milky white, or what they call albinoism. And those who are black is the deterioration of the excess of that, is what we call the carbon, right? So those who are called black is a political name for the policy that those who degraded your high quality DNA and put their who they are into you. This is why it's hard to separate from your daddy. The word daddy is D-A-D. D-Y is add on and die, which is who he is, the seed carrier of those who are evolving that had not got the tag of melanation on the skin to represent the etheric beings that are down here walking on earth. That's correcting all the falsehood, correcting all the deformities, the things that was not done properly with the first angelic realms that left their children in the buildings that is stone, they're called pyramids, that's aligned and kept the earth in order physically, mentally, and etherically. And with that, I'm going to give you the best sound that I hear right now for your continuation. And we say peace, shalom, 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 assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, rahbat, wa